The courtroom went silent before the judge even spoke. Not the kind of silence that comes from order, but the kind that comes from tension so thick it feels like the air itself is watching. A man in a tailored charcoal suit leaned back in his chair with a smirk that didn't belong in a place like this. Across from him sat his younger brother, hands folded, shoulders tight, wearing a faded button down that had been ironed too carefully, like dignity was the only thing he had left to control. And standing above them, unmoving, eyes sharp as a blade, the judge was already seeing something no one else had said out loud yet. Everyone thought this was just about a lottery ticket. It wasn't. Before we go any further, ask yourself this. If your own brother betrayed you for millions, what would you do? And if you believe justice always finds its way to the truth, hit like, subscribe, and stay with this. Because what unfolds in this courtroom is something people will be talking about for years. The case seemed simple on paper. Two brothers, one winning ticket worth $12 million, one claim, one denial. The older brother, Daniel Hayes, said he bought the ticket himself at a gas station on a rainy Thursday night. The younger brother, Marcus Hayes, said they bought it together, like they always did, splitting their last $20 between groceries and a desperate chance at something better. Daniel's lawyer spoke first, confident, almost bored. Your Honor, this is a frivolous claim driven by envy. My client is the sole purchaser and rightful owner of the ticket. There is no evidence to suggest otherwise. Daniel nodded, lips curling slightly. He looked like a man who had already spent the money in his head. Marcus didn't look at him. He stared straight ahead, jaw tight, eyes carrying something heavier than anger. Hurt, the kind that doesn't shout. The judge leaned forward slightly. Mr. Hayes, she said, her voice calm but carrying through the room like a verdict already forming, you claim sole ownership. You understand that this court does not operate on confidence but on truth? Daniel smirked. Of course, Your Honor. And the truth is simple. I bought the ticket. My brother's just trying to cash in on my luck. That's when everything shifted, just slightly. A murmur rippled through the courtroom, not loud, but noticeable. Marcus's attorney stood. Your Honor, we intend to show that this was not luck. It was shared intent, shared money, and a shared understanding between two brothers who had done this every week for years. The judge nodded once. Proceed. At first, it was small things, receipts, old text messages, a pattern of purchases, week after week, the same gas station, the same numbers, the same routine. The courtroom leaned in. Then came the first crack. A surveillance still appeared on the screen. Grainy, time-stamped. Two figures at the counter, one handing over cash, the other standing beside him. Daniel didn't flinch. That proves nothing. I was there. He tags along sometimes. Marcus finally spoke, his voice steady but low. We always went together. Daniel let out a short laugh, shaking his head, and then he said it, the line that changed everything. Your Honor, with all due respect, my brother wouldn't even have money for a lottery ticket if I didn't let him live off me half the time. The courtroom went dead silent. Even the air seemed to recoil. Marcus closed his eyes for a second. Just one. When he opened them, something had shifted. The judge didn't react immediately. That was the terrifying part. She just watched Daniel, like a scientist observing a specimen that had just revealed its true nature. Interesting, she said softly. That's when everything changed. Marcus's attorney requested permission to introduce new evidence. The judge granted it. A phone record log appeared. Not just messages, voice recordings. Daniel's smile flickered. Your Honor, the attorney said, these recordings were recovered from my client's phone. Conversations between the two brothers on the night of the purchase. The first clip played, rain in the background, laughter. Marcus's voice, same numbers again? Daniel's voice, yeah, one day it's gonna hit, and when it does, we split it straight down the middle. No funny business. The courtroom inhaled as one. Daniel's posture stiffened. That doesn't... Silence, the judge said, not raising her voice. Another clip. Daniel again, clearer this time. Doesn't matter who hands the money, it's ours. Always has been. Daniel's lawyer stood abruptly. Your Honor, context, but the judge raised a hand. Sit down. The room froze. She leaned forward now, eyes locked on Daniel. Mr. Hayes, would you like to explain why your own voice contradicts your claim? Daniel swallowed. The confidence cracked. That was just talk. We say things. People say things. The judge tilted her head slightly. People do say things, especially when they believe no one will hold them accountable for them. Marcus didn't move, but his hands had stopped shaking. The final piece came quietly. A bank withdrawal record. $20. Withdrawn from Marcus's account. Time-stamped minutes before the purchase. Daniel's face drained of color. The judge sat back, and for a long moment she said nothing. The silence wasn't empty. It was heavy, crushing. Then she spoke. Mr. Hayes, she said, her voice now carrying something colder, something final. This court has seen arrogance before. It has seen greed. It has seen betrayal dressed up as entitlement. But what it does not tolerate is a lie so poorly constructed it collapses under the weight of its own truth. Daniel opened his mouth, but nothing came out. She continued, each word landing like a hammer. You did not just attempt to steal money. You attempted to erase an agreement, rewrite history, and dismiss your own brother as if his existence were inconvenient to your narrative. The courtroom was completely still. You said he lives off you, she added, her gaze unwavering. But from where I stand, it appears you've been living off his trust. A pause. You broke more than a promise, Mr. Hayes. You broke the one thing this court cannot restore once it's gone. Faith between people who should never have to question each other. Daniel's shoulders collapsed. And then came the verdict. The winnings from the lottery ticket are to be split equally between both parties, as originally agreed. Additionally, due to your deliberate attempt to deceive this court, I am imposing financial penalties and referring this matter for further review of fraud. A gasp echoed through the room, but the judge wasn't done. Let this serve as a reminder, she said, her voice now echoing in the silence, that the truth does not need to shout. It waits, and when it is heard, it does not ask for permission to be believed. The gavel struck. It was over. Daniel didn't look at Marcus as he was escorted out, his earlier arrogance now replaced with something hollow, something broken. Marcus sat there for a moment longer, then he stood, not triumphant, not smiling, just steady. Weeks later, the story spread everywhere, not just about the money, but about the moment a courtroom watched entitlement collapse under truth. Marcus used his share to pay off debts, help his mother, and quietly rebuild a life that had nearly been taken from him. Daniel? His name became a cautionary tale whispered in conversations about greed and family. And that courtroom? People still talk about the day the judge didn't just deliver a verdict, she delivered clarity. So tell me, was justice served or was it something even deeper? Drop your thoughts below, and if this story stayed with you, like it did with so many others, make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still believes the truth always wins.